right, thanks for still being there. Daybreak Show, Rock City 101.9 FM. In the city of Abeokuta, yes, 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 and yes. This is the voice of the people. We are talking about events within town yesterday where suddenly a rumor came from somewhere, okay, I should say from nowhere, and disrupted the deworming exercise of the state government, which was supposed to commence yesterday. I've given you some facts, the ones we established. Of course, one of them is that so far, nobody can be confirmed to have died. That's from us. We visited almost all the schools where somebody would say this is the school where it happened. None. The other fact is that, yes, largely that exercise was disrupted. Some schools that administered it before the story came, but many of the schools have to stop and did not. We have those who organize it, those who can answer some of the questions you have raised so far since we began. Some of you have said it's a mere rumor emanating from the political angle, and some have said government should have expected it and should have done something to block it. And particularly when the issue of reaction was mentioned and the emphasis on the kind of meal the pupils must take to school, EBA, was largely mentioned as being told by the teachers, by the head teachers, and so on, the parents to give their words before coming to school. Happened that government should have also expected it. Some union have also said it should have been health workers that should have been used and not the teachers. But again, like I said, we also established that those teachers were also trained before that time on what to do with those drugs. So I have him here with us for the few minutes left before the 10 o'clock. Dr. Babatunde Ipaye, straight. So far from your collation analysis of events yesterday, I'm sure they are real. So what do you think happened?
Well, this is season of politics. We are committed, as His Excellency Senator Babatunde Ipaye had campaigned in 2011-2015 to provide effective health services to our populace, particularly for children under 5 and our children generally, and pregnant women. So it's part of a continuum. We have done this in 2011, exactly
2012.
2011-2012, using the same drugs. Even some of the teachers had to take away the remaining to use for their kids who weren't in school, and nothing happened in 2011-2012. And so if you are deploying the same intervention in 2017,
5 years after.
5 years after, and we are targeting 1,370,000 children in our school, we have seen where the thing emanated from. And then if you do a deep dive, you will see that it came from a particular political platform. But that is not the lot of our people, because we know that our people will, within no time, find out the truth. And the truth is what you have just repeated.
Yeah, question. I need you to further explain that, because that's purpose of
okay, so
that platform in which you have seen where it emanated for.
No. Because we are not going to go political with the life of our children. And I'm a thoroughbred professional. I worked for WHO before I was graciously appointed by His Excellency. I've been part of deploying this in about 5 countries in Africa. Over more than 250 million kids have benefited from same. And so, if I've used my international development connection and capital, and the fact that we have a leadership that believes in collaboration with development partners, and Ogun State is leading this in Nigeria in this time and period, where Action Evidence, an international organization working with Merck, the most reputable pharmaceutical company globally, is partnering with a state that has become number 1 in Nigeria. WHO just awarded us the best in terms of integrated disease surveillance and response, because our focus is on primary care. But let me tell you, the most important primary care provider globally is the mother at home, not even the health workers.
All right, quick, Commissioner. How much have we lost, the state lost in this exercise?
No, we have not lost anything. We're not going to lose anything. Do
you think it can continue? Because largely from our own finding, we can compare that many of the schools did not continue. They stopped it. Did not administer it.
This is a program that was designed to last for 3 days initially, and a mop-up for additional 2 days. Okay, so even when you heard the reaction of the people, we have seen that in other local government, for instance, I have photographs here of how it took place in almost every school. Okay, in several local governments. So we have flashes of spots where it didn't occur. But compared to where we had them, we have in so many more schools than where it didn't happen. But now that we have an opportunity of public education and further enlightenment, I'm sure that people will now know and understand that the medications we are using are not injections, number one.
Yeah, and that are just
Number two,
tablets.
they are just tablets. Number two, they are not immunization. They are just drugs that we normally buy from chemist shops to use for our parents, for our children at home. That even if you don't give it, those who have capacity to buy will traditionally on their own buy and give their children at home, even without consulting a doctor or without raising a nurse or without anybody administering it. And finally, most importantly, is that for 3 weeks before yesterday, we trained 9,600 teachers on how to effectively administer, not because we anticipated that these drugs will be, has any consequential effect, but because we wanted them to have a proper orientation on how to counsel the parents, because they usually have, better reach, and then they have, platforms on which they interact with the parents before us. Okay, and so the teachers that we have trained, that have been empowered, are also still there on the field doing the proper counseling. We can you wouldn't want to target 1,370 people and you have reactions like this. The only problem we
So
have,
is it that you were prepared for this kind of
yeah,
reaction, Commissioner? There will be this kind of reaction.
you see in the last couple of months, you see the political tension in Ogun State has gotten to a level where everything is thrown out every day. Okay, and then when government that is genuinely serving people becomes a target of people who deliberately want to play politics, my appeal is that let us play politics with everything that's not, but not the health of our children, because they are our future.
And life
Okay, and
of
life.
people.
Because government will not benefit anything. Okay, I mean, let's look at it. The children are not even voters, so I mean, they are not even qualified to vote. So who are we? What are we playing politics with them for? Okay, so but for us, we have discovered that 40% of children in Nigeria are stunted. Okay, and the largest contributing factor to stunting are inner worms that we are not even
So
seeing.
why did you not use nutritionists? Maybe in a school you add some nutritionists to those teachers who will do that assignment.
We have several hundred of thousands of public and private schools to deworm simultaneously. I told you we are targeting 1.37 million people. So what we do is what we call task shifting. We are using nutritionists, we are using nurses, we are using community extension workers, and we are using teachers where we don't have them.
Now, another question, the story which was told was that when this happened, when the World Media Society came up in 2012, that this were better because we saw some parents who actually confirmed that there were some reactions on their children. And then one, two, they were also told to come to school the next day fed with eba or solid food, which in his own interpreting it to mean, okay, this drug might do something on you. Why did you permit this, so to say?
Let me tell you that what travels fastest in Nigeria are rumor. You know that we have told people to make sure that they eat before they take the medication. It's not synonymous to you must eat eba or you eat whatever.
Because that's what some of the food vendors we spoke with, they say, "Ẹ̀bà ni kẹ́ gbé wá sí fún àwọn ọmọ yìí lọ́la o."
Okay. So having said that, the other side to it is that we had wanted a situation that will allow this drug to stay maximally within the intestinal tract. And that is a deliberate decision to say eat solid food. In this part of the world, the most solid of solid food is usually eba. Okay. And
if it was Benue, it would be Iyán or Ekiti.
so just eat something solid. I mean, but like I told you, it is such way we also interpret the Bible and the Quran, even when we read it, from the same chapters and verses. But our job is continuous education, continuous health education. If you look at the level of illiteracy or literacy level of Nigeria, it will have compounded the issue. But our job as public health specialists is that we will not rest on our horse. We'll continue to educate our people. Remember, it took a whole lot of time for people to take to immunization in Nigeria and family planning. It is the same issue around any public health intervention. So it is not strange to us. It's like even up to tomorrow, some people still feel family planning is population reduction. From even some part of Nigeria, they have not even taken to immunization that we have now taken as bread and butter here. So when you have public health intervention, you are likely to see some reactions like this, the clusters of reactions like this. But our job is to make sure that we manage people's fear along the line, and we showcase. In the early this morning, we are going back to the schools where we are administered. We are now showing the children back to see these are the pupils that we used yesterday. The parents will be talking to our population in the next couple of hours via medium like this. And then when they see parents, I was at the station before I got here. And parents called in to say, my own daughter used it yesterday, nothing happened to her.
Yeah, some schools actually will confirm that.
So I'm sure this is how Rock City FM also needs to help the population, because we are the fourth realm of the estate, and it is the good job like we are doing this morning that will help correct the negative impression that some people
quickly. This is the last question because we have to take this break. Some of our callers this morning have confirmed that even at markets they saw public enlightenment preparing people. I can also confirm that there were such things on radio and other, but with all this, we still have this so-called rumor succeeding, if you want to say partially, but at least it succeeded. What do you make of, because people have also used the word gullibility of our people?
No,
all this.
I don't want to join
people gullible.
No, I don't want to join. I don't want to join to say our people are gullible. Let me tell you what I can say clearly. Politicians will always play politics. It's not only in Nigeria; it's all over the world.
If they don't see them gullible, that whatever we sell to them,
it is gullible. You see, in the last American election, you saw what happened to Mrs. Clinton. Even whatever they throw away is taken until it is clarified. So it is not. It is a global phenomenon, but I appeal, and that's why I've decided to come on here. I appeal to all of us, including myself. Let us not play politics with our future.
All right. Okay, so we have to take this break. The news must come up at 10 o'clock. After that, we will continue with the program. Stay tuned. Looking at events within the state capital, particularly our public schools. Yesterday, as it has to do with the deworming exercise of the state government, which was interrupted by a story from somewhere from nowhere. We have the State Commissioner for Health here with us, Dr. Babatunde Ipaye. Straight on, we will let you ask your questions, like I said, clarification, and of course, if you have a confirmation of what exactly happened or information you can give to the state government, but through the commissioner, you can please do. 0809868734 and 090914696703. You are on. Good morning. Hello. All right, let's check out the other line. Okay, the other line. You are on. Morning.
Hello, good morning. Dele.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Dr. Ipaye.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Tunde Omolaolu. I'm calling from Abeokuta.
Tunde what?
Omolaolu.
Omolaolu.
Okay.
From Abeokuta.
Okay.
Yes, Doctor, I listened to you. You've spoken very well. Actually, you've spoken the mind of someone like me. Earlier, before you arrived back, I did maintain and submitted that, that act is nothing but mere political propaganda. Because I happen to be the chairman of a parents' association in secondary school in Ogun State.
Omolaolu will be giving you just 1 minute, please.
Yes, I'll be brief. I heard of it yesterday. I put it to action. Do you believe that despite the fact that I have left any other hospital, I discovered that, the situation and the rumor was negative, not right mobile.
Thank
I
you.
discovered it was just your political propaganda.
All right, thank you, Mr. Omolaolu.
Thank you, Mr. Omolaolu.
Let's take them so that you just note his submission. Hello.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. Dele, good morning. My name is Dr. Unkom. This time around, I'm phoning from Ibadan. Good morning, my commissioner.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. Mr. Commissioner, you've spoken well. I have listened to what other people have said. People like Ola Neman who will not tell life. Hello?
Yes, sir. We are with you.
Yeah, people like, yes, Ola Neman Wahil Quadri, and other very truthful people in the Rock City community. Sir, there's nothing you could have done
Yes, sir.
to avoid this. Nothing.
Thank
Let
you.
nobody say the commissioner did not do this, he did not do that. The reason is simple. One, our people don't do mathematics, can't process information. If you had told them that an elephant has eaten a child, they will believe. If you can spread that rumor very well, elephant has eaten a child, they will believe it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a level of education. And coupled with some political parties who are dead, I won't be surprised it's coming from them. I didn't mention any more political party.
Okay, sir.
They are dead. They are coming in. The problem is that I don't know why they are fighting Amusu. We have to come out and say that. Is it because of payment of deduction now again that we must vilify and put the lives of our children in jeopardy? Are we playing politics with our children anymore again because we want to score cheap points because Amusu did not pay deductions? Is that what we are going to do again? When some of us speak, they say we are too harsh. Mr. Commissioner, the government has done well. Nothing you could have done is the handiwork of, I don't want to use that word, handiwork of people who don't want to do it well.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next call, the commissioner is taking note. We'll give you time to react. We'll just keep noting them. Hello? Hello, you are on. Good morning. Somebody is there. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning.
This is Ola calling from Laughingwell.
All right.
To me, I'm not in any party, but I'm just saying that they should not put the life of our children at stake. If they are into political error, it's none of the parents. Because we have most parents there, they are not well educated. The little thing they will take it as if they can use them against the party. Please, I'm begging the government. And apart from that one, my kids also take these drugs and nothing happens to them. So what are we saying?
All right.
I'm begging the party, they should not spoil the government. There's a Yoruba that say that, how about it? If you want to do it, let it be in your own house, not outside. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Okay, hello, let's start this call, then we check the messages and come to the commissioner. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning.
Yes, this is Mrs. Quadri calling from Mashiro. Yes, thank you. My submission this morning, I want to believe the reason why they told the children to eat eba when coming to school is because I know in the hospital, if we want to take injection, they will tell us eat before you take the injection. If you want to use drug, eat before you take the drug. Same thing applies to this drug. This drug, when it enters into your body, it will draw some level of glucose into your system for the drug to work. So if you don't have enough glucose in your system, there is every likelihood for you to fall when the drug has withdrawn glucose to itself. Just the simple reason why they told them eat heavily when you are coming to the school. Deworming is a good exercise that everybody must welcome in the state. And I want to appreciate the state government. The only thing I want to say on this is that the awareness should be more than this one. It should be a regular thing. It should be on the air every time that, okay, so time we are coming again to deworm the children.
All right, thank you.
When we deworm our children, they will be healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's add messages to this, please, Ladi.
And was going to start with the tweet. Larry Hoover says it's unfortunate that our politicians should stop using people's lives to play games. Ogun State government should do more information. James Abiodo says on proper information, Mr. Ayodo said, then the jingle play on your station on any other private station. Samuel says this is a wake-up call to our government to be above board and break the highs. Some people are beating the drum, but we must be objective in our submission. How can the teachers be allowed to handle such a delicate work? What about the trained people? He continued, he said, our commissioner is praising his master on the provision of good health. Where is that good health provision? From 2011, state hospitals are turned to a mere village health center where 8 doctors supposed to work only 4 is working. Tony says contradictions because you don't give account to Ogun people and public fund can afford to be wasted if it were to be government actors personnel fund. And I have again this one from Samuel says no political tension anywhere in this state. This government is afraid of her shadow because of the kind of game they played against their predecessor in 2009 to 2011. Don't blame anybody for your failure. Accept your mistake for once and stop playing God. And he also continued, this government be as clear as mud, also in doldrums. Everything the okay. If you claim that the interruption was political, it means that they worked on the advantage of your negligence. If you've been sincere to us, you should have come here yesterday. Please let us mind what we tweet on this program. I'm moving to All right, moving to the shortcut box. The fallout of the deworming exercise should be a lesson that the information and sensitization was not adequate enough. Please let us not bring politics into the happening. Kayode from Randa sent that message. I believe there is a medium to investigate and arrest those carrying hate speeches, fake news. This should be tested. It would serve as an example to those finding joy in transmitting fake news. General Key Point sends that message. Mr. Dele, my Oga at your command. I humbly say I am a nutritionist and dietitian. Okay, that's sent in by Kola
Okay,
Oluwabi.
all right, thank you.
All right, Abdul Rashid Okinla from Abeokuta says politics and politicians must we politicize everything? Let's be very careful with the rumors and unconfirmed stories. And what happened to the deworming exercise is the handiwork of some mischievous rumor mongers. It would be good if the government can get at them. Larry Johnson sent that message. And to the very last one here, I don't think the pandemonium has any political undertone, considering the nationwide condemnation that greeted similar exercise in South, and Southeast.
No, you got it wrong. The issue of South or Southeast is different from the story in those zones was that the military were going into schools without any previous notice, information to the school, or the parent, and were given injections, immunization. Is different from this one, please. Just like we've been saying, let us get these things straight. Don't confuse that. Anyway, Dr. Ipaye, will come to you. Two things Nigerians react immediately without stopping a second to think about it when they are mentioned life and money. Now, like some of the tweets and messages that came in, they want to find out how much have we lost to the state, or uh, how much did the state spend
Well,
on this project?
we, in collaboration with our partners, spending hundreds of millions of naira to make sure that 1,370,000 children of Ogun State are dewormed, and that
So, no, because hundreds of millions is not a figure, sir. But somebody has asked how much has it taken the state government this project?
no, this
Public money that must be accountability.
yeah, it is public money, but it's also money of our development partners. And so, because I do not have the absolute figure from our development partners, it will be unfair to come to say it has cost us 200, 300 million, because even the drugs we're applying, if you calculate it at the rate of $2 per one, okay, I mean you can actually put a figure to it. But the operational cost has been contributed by both parties. I do not have a final figure from their own envelope, but the state government is supporting with about 50 million, and so that, but that is just one part of it, and it doesn't represent the whole. And for us, there's nothing to hide. Particularly those of us who have worked in other clubs before now. I'm able to say that His Excellency, and that is not patronizing, deliberately brought people who have worked and made successes in their professional calling elsewhere to support in the mission to rebuild Ogun State. And I can say that anywhere in the world. And so when I've listened to what you have said, but let me just say like, as a professional, that the brain of an average man is wired to react with emotion first rather than logic. And we call it Almond effect in psychology. And so, and that people are reacting based on emotion and sentiment is not new, it's not strange. And I'm sure, just like the issue of the military in Southeast was mentioned, we have spoken about the issue of immunization when it first came, and the campaign we had to do to take polio out of Ogun State was more than what we are doing today. Okay, and if we didn't continue that public health enlightenment, polio would still be with us. The last case of polio in Ogun State was 2009. Okay, so it is the same that we have to go through for immunization, but because, like Dr. Nkom said, the level of literacy in Nigeria is such that, people take to things that don't have scientific.
It's not illiterate that tweet. It's not illiterate that pass comment, deliberate falsehood on the social media. And
okay, that you're able to use. Let's look at the statistics. If you have like 100 million Facebook accounts in Nigeria, or more than 100 million tweeting in Nigeria, doesn't mean everybody that tweet is illiterate. Is literate, okay? Because there are these indicators for you to measure the literacy level. And if you have the literacy level of close to 60% in Nigeria, according to figure from National Bureau of Statistics, I mean, and that is a figure that we have to work with, and that's more than 100 million people. So, having said all of that, I think the preponderance of opinion from those who have called, and that is what my principal calls third-party confirmation, from those who have called and those who have tweeted, is that this is a rumor. The preponderance of opinion is that they have gone to schools and they have seen that everything they had didn't happen. And now that third parties have confirmed, this is no longer government talking. Okay, this is no longer politicians talking. You had Mrs. Ola from Lafewa, who said, "My kids, 2 kids, used this, nothing happened to them." This, for me, has vindicated government. You also had Mrs. Kodri from Ashero said, the reason why they said they should take meal is that even on everyday drug that we use,
they need
to eat meal. So these are people who are now coming out to say, we are first-hand stakeholder. We have, my own son and daughter have taken it, nothing happened to them. And it is usual that when we go to hospital, they will tell us to eat before we take drugs. We don't need as government to say more than that, because when people deliberately, and I use the word deliberately, come to misinform the public, even when we have done all that we needed to do, I agree that maybe there are certain things we will have done better. Okay? But based on the resources at our disposal, we have done everything like it is done elsewhere in the world. We have trained the teachers, 9,600 of them across all our public and private schools. We have engaged the PTAs of all schools. For us, these are the gateway to the parents, because we are not able to reach every parent in Ogun State. We have gone on media, we have addressed the press, we were on our TV, and some people who have twisted the story use our own story on TV, where we are telling the people that come, make sure your words come to take advantage of this, and twisted it to take political advantage of the time.
Okay, let's just add more calls. We'll still come back to you, but let's get the people talking. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Lauren from Ashiro here.
Thank you, Lawrence.
I, my own opinion is that I don't see anything bad in the program, but Mr. Commissioner said something that baffled me a lot. That he can't give us the actual figure used in that program. To me, it's not right. Before you can go, before you can start a program like that, you'll have made a cost. Sit down with your members, even with the governor. You plan for something before you go into it. So for now telling us you don't know the amount is somehow. It may be wrong. I mean, it may be right anyway, but I'm just saying it that way. So,
No.
and I want to advise people that they should be calm before they put out some information that is not necessary. So that's for me.
All right, thank you. Let's add your voice. Yes, your turn to speak. You are on. Hello, good morning. Hello, somebody is there.
Good morning, Dele Ayodo.
Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, doctor.
Good morning, sir.
You have Mr. Benson as I'm calling from Ijako.
Benson.
Yeah, I've listened to all the callers, previous caller, Dr. Come and the rest of them. They've spoken well. And I give kudos to the state government. But the only additional advice I want to give to government is that in future exercise, I think you and your counterpart in education should have a regular meeting and you inculcate the warming into the school system. Just like you have the terminal exam, midterm exam, and what have you. I think the warming is a very, very essential aspect of our children and parenting. I think the school is going to be the fulcrum of this exercise. Government need to work in concert with the Commissioner of Education and make this thing a regular routine. In aeronautics, we have what we call schedule maintenance for our aircraft. Similarly, we should incorporate what we can regard as schedule maintenance for our children in school. And these things should be incorporated and be regular so that your budget can be focused and distributed. In addition to that, state government school is not regularly available to everywhere. You, for instance, in Pakoto here, you have Pakoto High School, or maybe primary school at Singapore here. You have a lot of private schools. This private school, should now be children attached to the public school here. So the headmistresses from all these private schools are now take their children to go for immunization in those government schools that is available anywhere. That is just a better scientific method.
Okay. All right, thank you, Benson. We had one call, check messages, then come to the commissioner. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, morning.
Good morning.
Move away from the radio quickly.
My doctor, Commissioner,
Good morning.
Mr. Dele,
Morning.
morning, the lady here. My name is Big Daddy, calling from Asala. In fact, if you did not understand or see what Amusu has done in Ogun State, come and ask me, I will explain to you. The man has done excellently. That's why people may be criticizing. So what I'm only just asking is, because of this exercise that you have done, due to some of the immunization, the awareness used to let people know through the media, radio and TV. Yes, I'm only hearing it yesterday. That's why when I gave my people a piece of paper from the school. And the exercise did not comment earlier by getting those teachers. Because I met one of them yesterday was telling me that a child must eat very well or not. He should eat very well. Without eating, they will not give. Without eating, they will. If someone is sick, they will not give them the dog. What do you do to educate those owner of the schools so they can like those their workers? Because they are the people that will also be spreading this news. Government is not helping us. This is the only way we can generate help from government.
All right, thank you, Emeka. Emeka, thank you. All right, can we go into the message box?
Yes, definitely. Now let's start with the Facebook message. Dewale Shubawale says, it's a great pity that everything is being politicized in Nigeria of today. Permit me to classify the harbingers of this rumor as terrorists. Must we reduce our children to the level of hatred which we possess in abundance? All right. And to the tweet here, Tony says, unfortunate that so-called friends of the government are enemy. The project is good, but government has failed in information sharing. In information sharing, simple. Government should take responsibility. Larry Hoover says, I want to clarify someone saying that we should be okay. Yes, I still stand by that. You should be mindful of the tweets you send. Thank you very much, Larry Hoover. Akorede Camille, Honorable Commissioner Sir, why did the awareness take place in the marketplaces instead of schools where the exercise will be conducted?
No, that was just emphasis. It's not that that was the only place where the exercise took place. It also happened schools, PTAs, and CDAs. So the emphasis, it was also emphasize it that it also happened in the market. And of course, everybody, almost everybody in the market has a link with the school. Thank you.
All right, Yemi Da Vinci said, I would like to enjoin our people confirm information before believing. It is panic, not bombs, that killed people at Okiafa in January 2002, not the bomb blast. James Ajibade says, Commissioner, sir, please make a holistic investigation before you conclude that it's politics, because anything that happened now, people term it politics. And Yemi Davinci says, if tomorrow now there's a rumor about Ogun Education Ministry, I'll tend to believe because the commissioner has refused to come to this platform despite clamor for over a year now. He also said this is a wake-up call on the health ministry and other Ogun ministries. Give out information on the voice of the people station and stop avoiding us. Oladipupo Olayemi says, how sure is Dr. Uncom that the rumor is from a dead political party? The ruling party should also checkmate themselves. Again, Yemi Da Vinci said people claiming the drug will cause this or do that, are they doctors or pharmacists? He continued, he said, I think that the health commissioner should at least hint which political platform that allegedly started the unwarranted lie so the populace can be circumspect of information coming from them. All right, those are the tweets for
All
now.
right, thank you. We'll come back to the commission quickly before we take reactions from this one. Does somebody talk about a holistic investigation into the matters? Let me ask, therefore, have you done that? Do you find any of the people in government statement, either the trained teachers, the management of a school, or the ministry, culpable directly or indirectly in any of this?
Well, let me say without fear or favor that while we were engaging the public as part of our awareness creation before we started implementation yesterday, we have seen some funny write-ups from some usual quarters on the Facebook, where people who ordinarily will say anything at Amosu government said, people beware, Amosu is immunizing your children. And we said, this is not immunization. We also got some clusters of association within the teaching community who said they are not trained to give injections. And we said, this is not injections. They said we are supposed to engage the unions. We said, no, this is not a union activity. It's not a labor issue. And it is purely professional issue. And that is done anywhere in the world. I mean, what we have to do is to identify the critical stakeholders and make sure they are trained. And that is why, like I told you, we actually selected 9,600 teachers, both from public and private schools. And let me thank one of Mr. Benson that said maybe pupils from private schools should benefit. What we actually did is that we had with us yesterday the president of private hospital school owners of Ogun State at the launch, and he spoke to the people to say our members, our staff have been trained and they are ready to be deployed to simultaneously ensure that we cover all the schools in Ogun State for this exercise. We can play to the gallery. We can stay in Abeokuta, use media and dance and commission, but that is not the approach to public health integration. It's about service to the people. And because we do not want to play the kind of politics that people expect that we play without, is that we have to put canopies, bring video, bring people to dance, that the bulk of the money we need to spend to serve people would have gone into making merriment, doing road shows. These are
Printing
printing
posters.
posters. These are what people used to do in the past. But we cannot continue to do things the same old way and get different results. Let me tell you what we have done. We have immunized 1.3 million children in Ogun State in 2016. That is service to the people. We didn't have to cut tape to do what we are. I mean, in other climes, people don't have to be celebrated for doing what you have been called to do, service to the people. And that is why we felt that we need to ring fence resources that are strategically, budgeted for a purpose. And I've said it. And in Enugu, just in May of this year, Ogun State was awarded by WHO as the best in Nigeria in terms of integrated disease surveillance and response because they have seen the indices. Our maternal mortality is 3 times better than Nigeria as a state. So what have we done? Is that we target mothers in rural communities that are not usually celebrated on the TV and our radios, and we give them a Raya card, and they have access to take delivery in either public or private hospitals without anybody making noise about it. There are 16,000 women across Ogun State benefiting from that as I speak. But we won't put them on any political poster because it's an issue of confidentiality. And so what we are doing is that because we are doing it differently and we are being awarded, again, the state hospital in Diroko just received an award as the best in terms of HIV service quality improvement in Nigeria, all over Nigeria. And what have we done? What we have done is to ensure that every positive patient in Ogun State is taken up in our treatment center. And we don't have to politicize that. We really don't have to politicize that. And so if we are doing this business differently, we take responsibility for doing it differently, for not allowing fanfare to take the bulk of our budget, but rather ensuring that the budget actually truly serves the people. But that is what core professional will do. And when His Excellency called some of us from the comfort of the World Bank to come and serve the people, we had promised that we're going to serve according to the medical oaths that we have taken. And but I'm happy today. I'm happy because 80% of the statistics I've taken, almost 85% of those that called in, have said this is a good initiative of government. So I'm going to appeal to the remaining 15% to please exercise some caution, listen to the voice of reasoning. And Dr. Nkom is a very senior medical person. Mr. Tunde Omololu said, thank you, government, for bringing this. Somebody had said, like in the airline industry, this should be regular things that we should be doing because I keep saying these children are tomorrow. And it's the quality of the children that we produce that will improve the quality of the leadership that we get.
Honorable Commissioner, from all these that has happened, what lesson or lessons did we learn from this event of the last 48, 24 hours?
Thank you. The lessons we have learned as a ministry is that, one, we need to do more of intensive public enlightenment using all form of media, including social media. Because the rumor actually emanated from the social media, but because we were using conventional media to get across to people, we had TV houses, we had meetings with the teachers. These are conventional arrangements. We wrote to the teachers, to the Ministry of Education, collaboration, school homegrown program, OGTV, LTV, Channels TV. But we now saw that the detractors can actually use the other side of the media, and so what we need to do is to begin to engage people in platforms that they show presence. The second is that we may have to, in the future when we're doing things like this, get to a point where we will bring the direct beneficiaries to actually come and talk to people or those who have benefited in the past to come on here to say last year before, like I told you, even when we were deploying yesterday, some of the teachers who came and participated had to tell a parent in our presence that even when we did this in 2011, 2012, we took the remaining drugs home to use for our own children years or months after this. So these are what I call the third party evidence that we needed to have brought before we started. But like somebody also said, and not me now, a third party said, sometimes in Nigeria there's nothing you will do, no matter how good. Some people will have something bad about it. And there's no way we can pre-manage such people because that is their person. They don't trust government. They sit back in the corners of their houses and critique government. But for as long as they continue to be in the majority on things like this, what we will do is to continue to appeal to their consciousness to say if this is for the good of the greater people, then they need to change their ways.
All right, we'll check. Yes, we should be able to take two. Because we'll go back to emergency before we go. We have less than 10 minutes really to do this. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Ayodo.
Sir, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, my commissioner.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, sir?
Fine, sir.
I'm Taiwan.
You're welcome, sir. Yes, sir.
You and you are doing fine job to say it already loud and clear. So let me tell you, sir, you have to be watchful of some private radio stations in this town.
Okay.
Who use people to blackmail these government. Even your civil servants speak on this radio. One telling the public not to vote for it. A civil servant, you have to be watchful. Check these civil servants. What they are doing. They are working against this government. Thank you for what you are doing. God continue to bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Next call. Hello. Yes, your turn to speak. Good morning. All right. If you are lucky before the end of it. Good morning, somebody. Hello. Hello, we have you
Hello,
on
good
quickly.
morning.
Yes, morning.
Good morning, Dele. Good morning, Mr. Commissioner.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Honorable Lanre Jaji, calling from the People's Parliament in Abeokuta. I think it's quite unfortunate that we are trying to, put politics to everything and it's not supposed to be. We need to be very frank with ourselves. The government has done very well with that exercise. It's something that is supposed to be an routine exercise. I mean, it's something that is going to really benefit, our people. So quite unfortunate some people not doing the other thing. We don't need to mix politics with it. But I still want to implore the government that next time they need to create a lot of awareness. Actually go to the radio station, tell the whole world how the affair is going to be and how when the affair is going to start. Let me allow that people for God bless you to go over there. God bless you. God bless you.
Just the last call. The last call. Good morning.
Good morning, Dele.
Thank you.
I'm Caldi calling outside Abeokuta now. The signal was so painting and sketchy, and that's why I could not be calling. And good morning, doctor.
Good morning, sir.
Commissioner, I greet you.
Good morning, sir.
It's very worrisome that some people will come on the radio and be chastising some people that you are asking for people not to vote for APC. You see, we voted for APC, but only around Kiowa. You see, we need to have value for life, value for time, and value for others. We need to probably put consideration for others that they have liberty to do anything like the man at the hands of ourselves today in Ogun State. But let me say this, in health, let me tell you, so far, so good, there is nothing to write home about in Ogun State. I'm still maintaining it up till now. If we talk about security, I would say yes. If we talk about any other area, infrastructure, I would say okay, each way, it is okay. But for health, let me tell you, I'm being frank, I'm principled. Let me tell you, it's all failure in health. If somebody is now coming up again to say because deduction is not paid, money is not paid, salary is not paid, or whatever.
All right, Kayode, that's much of the time. You can give messages, please. That's the last call. We won't be able to take any. The commissioner will react in a minute. Let's add the messages.
Okay, Abiodun Shegun tweeted, rumors are not good. Government should also play their role well. What is worth doing at all is worth doing well. Where are the nurses? Ajayi Phillips says the death rumors about the vaccines is nothing but political propaganda. A state government should not be deterred. Akurede Camille says, I actually support that call. It's a welcome development. He also said, I think we can improve on the provision of adequate information because many parents aren't aware of this exercise despite the jingles on the radio. Thank you, sir. Um, James Jibade says, sir, if the rumor platform has been discovered according to you, what legal action have you taken against the perpetrator to serve as deterrent to others? Tony says, okay, good. The commissioner confirmed it all. They cannot give account of the cost of the amount wasted based on their failure. Taxpayers' money can be wasted on excuses. That one has been sent by Tony. And okay, we have this one just dropped on our message box. The government may have good intention to deworming school kids. The heat the program generated was born out of insincerity of government in the past. I'm sure the exercise is not meant for the good of Ogun people, but for the fortune the government will make from it. The government should engage the populace constructively and make the interest of people a priority. The problem will persist until confidence of citizens are assured. God help us. Kenny Additional sent that message from Ashiru, and those are the messages from
All right, and of course, that's where we will end it from your end. Honorable Contract. Before I put it, somebody has said that the Minister of Education should have also been involved through the Honorable Contract for education. Really, that ministry is also doing their part. Really, they are doing well. But somehow, the commissioner have not been able, despite all our messages and flirting with her to have her here to talk. We've not been able to do so. Hopefully, one of these days she will agree to come. So that's just for those of you who are expecting her or the somebody from the education to come over here. Maybe one of these days, Dr. Paye.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dele Ayodo. Well, let me say thank you to people that have called. Like I said, the preponderance of opinion from the statistics I have here, more than 80% in support of what we have done, and then politics is about the majority. We thank you for believing in what we are doing, and we on the technical and business science agree that this is the best thing to do. Mr. Emeka Taiwo Body, thank you for your observation. We have noted your feedback on the private radio and the civil servant on radio. Well, I don't want to come and discuss politics here. For us, His Excellency said we should continue to work to the last day. Honorable Larry, thank you for your comment. Well taken. Mr. Kayode, you said you don't know what government has done in terms of health in Ogun State. Let me state categorically that my fellowship is in public health. I'm a public health specialist. Um, um, I know that when people discuss health, they love to see buildings, they love to see painted places, they want to see structures commissioned. That is the old order. The illiterate of the 21st century are those who cannot unlearn and relearn. Our ministry is called Ministry of Health, and our first priority is to keep people healthy. It is not a Ministry of Disease Management. And we go to Western world, the primary mandate of public health is to make sure that we make as many as possible people healthy first. And what we have taken as a cornerstone of our care delivery against your expectation is our prioritize primary health care. And primary health care is the affordable care that you give to people in communities where they live. You can give it anywhere, and you don't have to build a hospital to give primary care. And let me tell you what we have done. In 2016, we immunized 1,320,000 children across Ogun State, to such an extent that this state has not had a single measles epidemic in the last 2-3 years. In the last 2 years in Ogun State, we have given 720,000 children vitamin A. When we give vitamin A to our children, they don't fall sick from usual diseases that will make them go to hospitals.
Right, Honorable Commissioner.
Again, finally,
you only have 30 seconds.
No, I know. Finally, we have institutionalized Araya, our social insurance scheme, the first in Nigeria and the most celebrated. And so, and we continue to build. We have rebuilt Totoro Hospital. We are rebuilding Jebubu Hospital. We have done for several teaching hospitals in Shagamu, new theater at General Hospital in Djibouti, School of Nursing. All the 5 schools now opened. And then we are producing over capital that will serve our people. So, we are not seeing it. We are not seeing anything.
We cannot go beyond this point, maybe some other time.
Thank you.
Or any package. You can package all these things and let's have it as documentary.
Please.
On here for
we want Mr. Kayode to come and take us.
All right, again, we have to end it. We thank everybody who's been a part of it. We say big thank you. Yes, we've always been the one that make this together by your contributions or just listening. I must also thank the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health who assisted the Commissioner here, Dr. Igoro, my good friend. You are welcome. Dr. Ipaye, all your time. You tried to squeeze some for us this morning. We also say thank you, even though it's part of the assignment we are doing together. We need to keep our people informed, educated, and to go along with what government is doing or not doing. Dele Ayodo is my name. We can keep debate on tomorrow on the open day. God bless you all. God bless Nigeria, and God bless Rock City.